that the United States is decimating the radical Iranian regime's military in a way the world has never seen before. Never before has a modern, capable military, which Iran used to have, been so quickly destroyed and made combat ineffective, devastated. Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. When every last diplomatic effort has completely shattered, the Pentagon is forced to make its heaviest and most brutal decision. They don't send the special forces. They don't send the light infantry Marines. They send the Armored Brigade Combat Team Minus, the most ruthless iron spearhead on the planet. They unleash thousands of 70-ton M1A2 Abrams war machines alongside Bradley fighting vehicles. When these massive engines roar to life simultaneously, they generate an absolute, unstoppable mechanical force designed to crush absolutely anything in its path. This is no longer a standard military deployment. This is exactly how the United States mobilizes the entire, crushing weight of its military-industrial complex to win the fight. When the United States military needs to breach fortified boundary lines and crush enemy resistance, they unleash the unadulterated might of the Armored Brigade Combat Team. Built around apex predators, the M1 Abrams tank and the M2 Bradley fighting vehicle. This is the most destructive ground force on the planet. But before these titans can violently evict the enemy from their trenches, they have to survive their own brutal reality. Tanks are mechanical nightmares. Getting them ready and moving them to the front line is a massive, continent-spanning logistical symphony. The journey of pure devastation begins in sprawling military maintenance depots. An Abrams is a 60-ton behemoth of heavy steel, complex electronics, and high-pressure hydraulics. Every Ofraud mile aggressively shakes its internal components. They return battered, armor-scarred, and engines choked with dust. Under blinding warehouse floodlights, specialized mechanic strip these beasts to the bone. There are no quick fixes here. When an Abrams turbine engine fails, mechanics use massive cranes to rip the entire power pack out and drop a brand new one in. Simultaneously, suspension specialists swing sledgehammers to replace snapped torsion bars. Inside the cramped turret, technicians plug ruggedized laptops into the fire control systems to recalibrate laser radiovisor and xerothermal sights. A tank that drives but cannot shoot accurately is just a metal coffin. Every sensor must be pristine. Once the engines roar back to life and computers are sensed, the beasts are ready. But you cannot simply drive a tank thousands of miles to a war zone. Doing so would destroy the tracks and exhaust the crews before they even see the enemy. You have to carry them at military rail yards. Ground guides direct massive tanks onto reinforced flatbeds. Loadmasters lock the armor down with heavy-duty steel rigging, pulling every chain to maximum tension. Hundreds of flatbed cars snake across the American heartland, heading directly toward deep-water military ports. When these rail convoys reach the ocean, the terrifying scale of the operation becomes clear. Massive roll-on, roll-off vessels from the military sea lift command drop their heavy steel stern ramps with an earth-shattering crash. Jet engine whine of the Abrams echoes across the harbor as they dart into the cargo holds. 70 tons of shifting steel below deck in an ocean storm would capsize the vessel, so there is room for error. While Bradleys fill the upper levels. Once in open water, guided missile destroyers from an impenetrable perimeter and attack submarines silently clear the waters ahead. Weeks later, the steel ramps drop onto foreign soil. When the paved roads end, the heavy haulers take over. The tanks are immediately loaded onto heavy equipment transporters, or HE, yes. These massive, multi-wheel trucks haul heavy armor over hostile, unforgiving terrain. Driving a truck carrying a 70-ton load through deep mud up steep gradients, often under the cover of night, requires absolute precision. These convoys push rapidly to forward staging areas near the hostile border. When the final order comes down from high command, the transport trucks are left behind. The tanks hit the dirt. The battle begins. the Armored Brigade combat team forms up in a sweeping tactical wedge formation. This is combined arms warfare in its most unstoppable form. The M to Bradleys push forward on the outer flanks as the sharp eyes and protective shield. The M1 Abrams form the crushing, heavy core. Enemy armor is detected several miles away, camouflaged in dug and deep ILD positions. They think they have the element of surprise. They are entirely wrong. The Bradleys react first. I-Gunner spots a heat signature. The TOW anti-tank missile launcher snaps up and fires. The wire-guided missile streaks across the desert, slamming directly into the enemy vehicle, obliterating it in a blinding flash of secondary explosions. Then, the true inescapable nightmare arrives over the crest of the hill. The M1 Abrams roll over the ridgeline at 40 miles per hour. Bouncing violently over rocks, their main guns remain perfectly stable, locked onto targets by advanced gyroscopes. Through thermal sights, camouflaged enemy tanks glow bright white. The laser magnifies it engages. The target is locked. Fire. The 120mm Smut Herbert gun unleashes hell. A depleted uranium dart leaves the muzzle faster than the speed of sound. Relying entirely on sheer kinetic energy, it punches cleanly through thick frontal armor, instantly vaporizing the interior of the enemy tank in a massive, catastrophic kill. The Bradleys move up alongside the Abrams, their 25mm chain guns barking violently, laying down an impenetrable wall of high explosive incendiary rounds to shred enemy anti-tank infantry. It is a relentless, punishing cycle of synchronized fire-aggressive maneuver and absolute destruction. They push deeper into hostile territory, leaving nothing but burning wreckage. No trenches can stop them. No minefields can hold them. This is an eviction notice delivered violently by 70 tons of American steel. The battlefield now entirely belongs to them. Thanks for watching. If you want more tactical deep dives and raw military logistics, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next frontline.